Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, step right up and prepare to be amazed and perhaps a little disturbed. The lights are bright and the tents are tall, and the wonders within will leave you speechless. Tonight under the big top, we explore the dark side of the sideshow, where the lines between spectacle and tragedy blurs. Welcome to Bloodstained Backstory. Tonight's main attraction, the man they call Lobster Boy, Grady Stiles. The Carnival of Curiosities is about to begin.
Grady Franklin Stiles Jr. was born on June 26, 1937, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. From the moment he entered the world, he was different.
He was born with a rare condition called electrodactyl, which caused his fingers and toes to fuse together in claw-like appendages. It's often referred to as lobster claw syndrome.
But here's the thing, it wasn't just Grady. His father, Grady Stiles Sr., had it too. In fact, the Stiles family could trace the condition back 5 generations, all the way to the 1800s.
And in that era, people with physical deformities often didn't have many opportunities. So Grady Sr. did what many others with rare conditions did. Join the traveling circus.
He performed in sideshows, proudly displaying his unique hands to fascinated and sometimes horrified crowds. He turned what others might have seen as a curse into a way to make a living.
And when Grady Jr. was just 7 years old, he joined the act, and together, father and son became the stars of the Lobster family, touring across the country as part of America's booming sideshow scene.
During the off-season, they settled in Gibsonton, Florida, known as Showtown, USA. It was a place where carnival workers and performers lived during the winter. In fact, the post office even had special counters to accommodate dwarfs and giant-sized residents.
It's a fascinating slice of Americana, but also a place where the line between performer and person could blur. For Grady, growing up as a spectacle didn't just shape his career, it shaped his psyche.
Grady's fame grew, but beyond the scenes, his personal life was falling apart. He married twice and had 4 children, 2 of whom inherited his condition and joined the act.
But fame and family didn't soften him. Grady was a violent alcoholic. His disability meant he couldn't walk. He moved by dragging himself with his powerful arms, and because of that, his upper body strength was immense.
Combine that kind of strength with a bad temper and alcohol, it was a dangerous mix. Family members later described him as controlling and cruel. His wife and children lived in constant fear of his violent outbursts.
His first wife, Mary Teresa, eventually left him. She later married another performer, a little person known as Henry Glenn, who was billed as the world's smallest man. But oddly enough, Mary's story with Grady wasn't over.
Exactly, because after years apart, they got back together. Grady had stopped drinking for a time, promised to change, and Mary believed him. They remarried.
But his sobriety didn't last. Once the bottle came back, the violence came back with it for act number 2.
Let's go back a bit. On September 28, 1978, in Pittsburgh, Grady's eldest daughter, Donna, was set to marry a young man named Jack Lane.
Grady didn't approve of Jack. He thought his daughter could do better, and when Grady disapproved of something, everyone knew to be afraid.
On the eve of their wedding, Grady asked Jack to come over and talk. What Jack didn't know was that Grady had a shotgun hidden nearby.
Without warning, Grady would shoot him point blank, and he would die instantly.
And Grady didn't deny it. He confessed, showed absolutely no remorse. He reportedly told police, "I told you I would kill him."
At trial, he was convicted of third-degree murder, but here's where things get wild. He never served a single day in prison.
Right, because the court decided that no state facility was equipped to handle a prisoner with his condition. Instead, Grady was sentenced to 15 years of probation and house arrest.
So a man who literally murdered his daughter's fiance went home. No prison bars, no real punishment.
It's hard not to think that leniency emboldened him, because from that point on, Grady acted like he was untouchable.
By 1992, Grady's home life was a nightmare. He drank constantly, he terrorized his family, and he even bragged with getting away with murder.
Mary Teresa had had enough, but instead of leaving again, she made a deadly decision.
Together, her and her son from previous marriage, Henry Glenn Newman Jr., Mary hired a teenage sideshow performer named Chris Wyatt to kill Grady.
Wyatt was just 17 years old. The agreed upon price, $1,500.
On November 29, 1992, Grady sat in the living room in his Gibsonton, Florida, watching TV. He never saw the gunman enter.
Wyatt shot him twice in the back of the head. Grady died instantly.
And when the news spread, no one, and I mean no one, was surprised. Some even said justice had finally caught up with him.
At his funeral, only 10 people showed up. No one wanted to carry the coffin. That says a lot about what kind of man he was.
After the murder, all three were arrested. Chris Wyatt was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 27 years in prison.
Mary was found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and served 12 years. Her son Harry received a life sentence plus 12 years, and he died in prison in 2014.
Wyatt was released in 2009, and he would slip into obscurity. Mary was released in 2000 and would return to Gibsonton, choosing to live away from the public attention.
It's really chilling. The man who lived as a sideshow attraction, who craved the spotlight, died, unwanted and unmissed.
So how do we make sense of it all? Was Grady Stiles Jr. a victim of exploitation, molded by a cruel industry that made him perform his deformity for a profit?
Or was he simply a monster? A man who used his condition and strength as a weapon instead of a burden?
Or maybe both. His story blurs the line between victim and villain, performer and predator.
There's even a Netflix series, Freak Show, that revisits Gibsonton. In Season 2, Episodes 5 and 6, Grady's son appears and talks about his father's troubled legacy and visiting his grave to find closure.
And that's what the case really is. A cautionary tale about pain passed down through generations, about fame and isolation turning into fury.
When your entire life is a performance, at what point does the act end and the real horror begin? If today's tale made your skin crawl, good. These stories aren't here to comfort you. They're here to confront the darkness lurking just beyond the spotlight. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who thinks they've seen it all. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and never trust the man behind the curtain.